Welcome to episode 153 of This Week in Marketing, also known as the Twim Show. This is your host Sajid Islam, and today I will be going over the notable news and updates in the digital marketing space from the week of March 20 through 24, 2023. First off, this week, TikTok's CEO Shou Chew appeared before the U.S. House Committee on Energy and Commerce, and he made his case in front of Congress, and he wanted to answer any questions from the lawmakers before they decide on whether to ban TikTok or not, or force a sale. There's plenty of, not much that happened that you should be aware of, because the decision hasn't come out. But it was interesting to see, what how it's trying to position TikTok as beneficial to the US, and TikTok has gone to the extreme of even getting influencers into DC, paid for the travel, have run TikTok campaigns on YouTube where they said how TikTok has made people's life easier, better, blah blah blah, all in the angle of, hey, I am such and such influencer, I've been able to reach such and such number of people through what I do, blah blah blah. So they're playing that angle where, oh yeah, TikTok is allowing people to take the US culture abroad and things like that, as if Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat doesn't exist. Nevertheless, why I'm bringing this up is that keep in mind, if TikTok is your only traffic source, it may or may not be here next month or next week. So you want to diversify, and even if it is, you still want to diversify, because diversify is always better, right? Do not put all your eggs in one basket. That does not mean that you have to really put a lot of effort, but I would say keep the warm up the engines on the other platforms, at least one more. Next up, LinkedIn. There are 4 updates for LinkedIn business pages that you should be aware of. Number 1, now LinkedIn allows you to plan your business page post up to 3 months in advance. This is something available on desktop right now. This feature is coming out on mobile. Also, LinkedIn is introducing live audio-only discussion, eliminating reliance on external broadcasting applications. It's interesting to see that LinkedIn is doubling down on audio applications. Facebook this week just shared that they're killing their audio channels. They're they copied the audio feature from Clubhouse after its meteoric rise, and now that they realize people don't use it, they're trying to get rid of it, whereas LinkedIn is doubling down. Oftentimes, I know I've covered this on this show, that people will, all these platforms are copying each other. However, it's interesting that LinkedIn is going deep into audio channel like Clubhouse. That bubble is no longer there, but there is still a very strong core group of users that uses it. Like me, for example, I use Clubhouse, right? I say that because I go on Clubhouse at least once a day, and I would go to Clubhouse, but I will not go to LinkedIn and do that. I would not do to Instagram, and that's just me personally, because Clubhouse is known for audio only. It's like going to a restaurant, they only do Italian food and only Italian, versus a restaurant that does Italian, that does Chinese, that does Thai, and you're like, okay, it's just like you're not the best in everything, and it's like, that's how I feel with audio is. But I blabbered on this too much. We'll see how this works out. Maybe it works out pretty well for business users, because now you can do, because LinkedIn is professional, mostly business, so they can start channels and things like that, even though I think Clubhouse has served us very well so far. The other thing is, the third option is from LinkedIn is that the businesses fewer than 1,000 employees. LinkedIn now offers an automatic job posting feature. So once activated, as soon as you create a job, it will automatically post it back into your, company business page. Like, oh, such and such, there is a new job position, things like that. You could have always done it by yourself, but it's just one less step. So I guess, if you can take advantage of automation, why not? And the fourth thing is LinkedIn page now can follow other pages, making it easier to join chats related to your field and with a feed dedicated to content from other businesses you are following. Remember how Facebook page could follow other Facebook page? And it was a big thing back in the day. Then over time, it just kind of kind of went away. So that's how I feel. Sometimes less is more, and I wish these product managers or some of these platforms would hear that. I do not know what a particular use case is, why my company page would want to follow another page, but hey, what do I know? I'm just the guy reporting the news. Next up, there are some new features in Reddit ads. Yes, Reddit does ads, a plethora of new stuff, they're rolling out from automatic ad creation to multi-currency support to community search, retention reports, things like bulk edits, and the last thing is simple campaign creation that enables advertisers to create campaign with single ad in 3 easy steps. So, if you think your audiences are hanging out in Reddit, maybe this is a good place to add. My job is to bring information to you and present it in terms of what's happening. And I love this kind of stuff because I do this show, I'm able to actually stay up on top of things. Like if I wasn't doing this show, I would not have known that there's this thing called Reddit ads and all these things are there. Right now I can talk more intelligently rather than just, I'm becoming more of a T-type marketeer, right? Where I was a T-shaped marketeer, but I'm just saying in terms of knowledge, like now I know about a little bit about all the other platforms, and then my deep expertise is search marketing. Okay. Next up, and you know what? I don't want to say I told you so, but I did touch on this in episode 151, which is 2 weeks ago, where I said, when I covered that TikTok enters the search ads market, even though it's inching towards a US ban. And, I was saying, hey, it's high time. When will Instagram copy TikTok or Google and have a search ads? Well, 2 weeks later, it's here. So they're going to have 2 things. One is search ads, which is very simple. You go search, you put a keyword in, and you're going to start seeing, ads as well as organic results. That's one. Number 2 is they have something called reminder ads, where users can opt into alerts ahead of an event. So if you see an event, you can alert, and then the event organizers can run reminder ads and to inform people, hey, events are coming up, things like that. I don't run Instagram ads, so I really cannot say what's going on over there. But it's definitely good. It's definitely good. I think it's high time the Instagram starts with search ads. Reminder ads is a good thing, especially if I have a public event, if people are going, we could probably show ads to them to remind them. Although I would just say creating a calendar invite and adding a calendar, appointment event on your calendar also works the same way, right? I do that. So if it's an event that I really want to go, I will say yes, going, and I will download that calendar into my phone, and off I go. Well, because the only way if you do reminder ads is that, you have to keep reminding people. That means that person has to be on that platform. But hey, what do I know? In terms of Microsoft, they have introduced this category-based targeting for retailers. To be very transparent, I researched on this and I looked at it. There was no really demo for it to sign up, but it looks very promising, very interesting. Not promising, very interesting, I would say. Just because, they're saying, Microsoft is saying, hey, we have this solution called Promote IQ that not only targets based on keyword, but we can also target based on category. So we kind of know what your users or what people are shopping for in which category. And then based on those category, we can show ads. And within that category, we can boost certain keywords. You can boost your high performing keywords. And the chances of your return on ad spend is a lot higher. That's what Microsoft is saying. I haven't played with it, so I really do not know if it lives up to what they're saying. But nevertheless, it's very good solution seems to be a very good solution for retailers, e-commerce of that sort. It's only available for e-commerce. Keep that in mind. And just an FYI, this next update is GA4 is coming in about less than 100 days. That means Universal Analytics is going away in less than 100 days away. So if you are someone who hasn't converted or who hasn't implemented fully, it's high time. You don't want to be July 1st and you're still in universal analytics and you're scrambling, especially if you're running Google ads, because if you're running, like, for example, if you're running, say, Performance Max or any of these campaigns where the conversion data drives future spending, you're going to be dead in the water, because UA is not going to process any more information. It's just not going to send any more data back to Google Ads. Google Ads is going to not going to know that your conversion is happening, who those people are, and you are dead in the water. So with that, Jeannie Marvin, she works at Google, and she reminded, hey folks, it's high time you want to go ahead and migrate if you haven't. And if it seems like I'm being like a broken record and I've covered this GA4 for a long time and I keep on reminding people, is because there's at least 50% of the websites out there who hasn't converted to GA4. Now, I do not know if these are websites that have been forgotten, or they're not going to be coming back in existence. I do not know what is going on, but it's just that that number is very, very high. Talking about Google, there are 3 new features in Google Discovery Ads. Number 1 is they have rolled out product feeds to all Discovery advertisers. That basically what that means is that Discovery, if you're an e-commerce, direct to consumers or direct to business website, you can use your your Google Merchant Catalog to deliver more relevant ads through the Discovery channel, which is the Google Discover. So basically what this is all meaning, and I had to read up a little bit while I was talking to you, is that, Google Discover is this thing that I have on my iPhone as well. I had this Google app. I can go in there and I kind of sometimes read like news and things, and Google, based on as I'm reading, Google kind of learns, hey, the recommendation engine learns what I'm reading, how much time I'm spending, what I'm clicking on. And then what Google is saying now, they're going to start to show product ads in that Google Discovery feed. Up until now, it wasn't generally available. Now it is. So yet, Google Discovery ads have been quite, or Google Discovery feed has been quite somewhat 80%, I would say 80%, 75 to 80% accurate for me in terms of the surfacing the articles that I would like to read. It's similar to YouTube ads, YouTube's recommendation engine is what I would say. Okay, so that's good. That's very good. Google claims that you can get up to 45% more conversions at a similar cost per acquisition CPA range, which makes sense because it's still new. Over time, it's going to go away as more people start putting ads in the Discovery feed. But for now, it's good. So you should definitely take advantage of it. The next is the product level reporting, which will launch later this month. This month is going to be over this in about a week or so, which allow advertisers to track how their Google Merchant Catalog items are performing in product feeds against metrics like impression or clicks. For example, a retailer who is promoting a wide range of products can now see which type of products are generating more interest and take business-related actions. Okay, and again, Google is pushing you to use data-driven attribution because it's going to give you credit where it's due, not you give where the credit is due. You should definitely use data-driven attribution, in my mind, in my opinion. And thirdly, Google has this new thing called Conversion Lift experiment. Conversion Lift was, rolled out last year. That allows you to accurately assess the effectiveness of your campaigns. This is one of their most recent measurement solutions. Allows you to help, how well is your ad really doing. So now they are rolling out Conversion Lift experiment. This is for advertisers who are running both discovery ads and video action campaigns. Now, I want to pause here and tell you, if all this talk that I've been covering, like this in this Google Discovery ads, is making you dizzy, or you're not unsure if this applies to me, or you're saying, Sajid, this is a lot of, buzzwords. Discovery ads, video action campaigns, data-driven attribution, product feed, things like that. And you're a business owner, then I don't think you should be feeling bad, only because these are really for people who are in the Google Ads space, a marketeer or search marketeer. But again, I'm still covering it because you as a business owner should say, I have a Google shop, or I have a Shopify shop, I have a Google product feed or a merchant feed. Let me talk to my guy and ask him, hey, can we do this? right? Or you should say, hey, marketing guy or marketing gal, here's the podcast, here's the episode, here's the show, here's the episode. Go give it a listen and tell me what can we do for our business. That's why I'm covering it, okay? I'm not necessarily telling you the business owner should stop running your business and start looking into it, because that's a lot of work. You don't want to do that. I want you to give you the high level information so that you can go in and you can talk to your marketing gal or guy and say, hey, here's what's happening. What do you think? Should we do it? What do we do? How do we do it? Or should we go talk to someone else who can help us get it done? Okay. Next up, Google seems like blue check mark is the flavor of the season. Google is testing the check mark badge, the blue badges for verified advertisers in search. Again, it's part of Google Advertisers verification program. It's not available to everyone. Google is testing it, but I'm bringing it up. This is interesting to see where Twitter launched it, the blue check mark, and then Instagram copied it, Facebook copied it, and now Google is like kind of thinking of how do we take these verified advertisers and bring it into the web. Maybe in the future Google is going to start also charging $12 a month. We'll see. Next up, in the SEO front, Google has clarified its 15 megabytes Googlebot limit. What happened is when Google came out with that and Google shared, hey, there's a 15 megabytes of limit, everybody in the SEO world was starting panicking and complaining because they were not sure what that means. So Google came out and clarified, look, it's 15 megabytes per resource pool. So for example, your main page on your website is home.html. As long as it's within 15, that's fine. Yes, that page is gonna then link to a JavaScript or a cascading style sheet. Then when they pulls that linked file, it's going to be also it's gonna have its own 15 megabytes limit. So for each individual pull, it's gonna be a 15 megabyte limit. It's not the whole thing. That's one thing. Number two, Gary Ellis has also pointed out, and if you think, 15 megabytes is a lot, we shouldn't be worried about. Gary Ellis says, you'd be surprised or shocked to see how many JavaScript files are out there that are over 15 megabytes. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that. Again, you as a business owner don't need to do anything. This is where you, again, ask your developers or marketing guy or girl, hey, have we checked that? I heard this, can we check that? So that's what you do. And thirdly, John Mueller is saying, look, 15 megabytes is per fetch. When Googlebot comes in, it fetches the page, it should be under 15 megabytes. That's one thing. However, just because we're fetching it does not necessarily mean the page is going to be indexed. And just because we're indexing it, so it's going to rank. So there's a lot of stuff into the whole process. So what I'm trying to say is that, you just have to keep in mind that, if you have a website, a basic rule of thumb is let's keep everything under 15 megabytes. If we have more than 15 megabytes, maybe we should break it down into smaller files. That's all. Talk to your people, tell them that, and off we go. I think we should be good. Now, again, in the SEO front, the other thing, we have covered quite a bit in the past on our shows, especially I think episode 141 and 91 is relative link attributes. Now, John Mueller has come back and says, look, you can specify, there's only a few documented link attributes that Google supports. Other than that, you can do whatever link attributes you can put. It has no bearing on whether, on search results, right? So there were so obviously we have covered no follow relative link. And we covered no index in the past to instruct the Googlebot not to index that page. And then we have covered relative link equals to me, which basically means, hey, this link covers to my own, links you to my own social channel. But, there are people who have come up with this whole thing and hey, we need to do relative link equals to do follow. Thinking, if there's no follow, then there should be do follow, right? Instructing Google. And John Mueller is saying, no, it doesn't work that way. You can put do follow, or you could say cheese is good, or you could say, Google is bad, does not matter. The robots are going to see this, they're going to ignore it. The only ones they're going to really take into account is the ones that we support. So hope all it matters is do not go crazy. If it's not published, it's not published. If it's not published, putting it in there is not going to have any effect. And the next update is that John Mueller has said, just because you have stuffed keyword in a page does not necessarily mean that the content is not good does not necessarily mean that you're gonna rank higher or lower, things like that. That was something from the 90s when you could stuff keywords into a page and that will help you to rank higher. That's search engines and robots are smart nowadays. It knows how to find those. It knows how to ignore them. This was in response to a user posting a query or a message for John Miller saying, hey, how come my site does not got hit by the helpful content update? Is it because I have too much content on my page and Google might be thinking I'm stuffing keywords? John Miller says, look, I really cannot look at individual pages and comment on it, but I would say follow the helpful content, our guidelines, and see whether it helps you or not. Obviously, the guy did post a link to his page, and I went ahead and I looked at it, and obviously the link is in our show notes page. But I would just say, I was not very impressed with the content on the page. I would think, and looking at it, you can look at it and you could say this page was written with SEO in mind, trying to thinking, if we put so many black cats in a page, maybe we will rank for black cats. Basically what the page is all about was, hey, if I dreamt of a black cat, what does it mean? Does it necessarily mean it's a bad dream? So it goes on talk about, black cat with white cat, black cat crossing the road, I don't remember exactly, I'm just making it up, but it's just a variation of that black cat. So at one point, that they were like playing that keyword density game, which was again covered in one of our old past podcasts. It doesn't read well. It's not a story. It just feels very fake, very thin content, and I'm not surprised that they got hit after the helpful content, right? So again, back in 2018, John Miller did say that keyword stuffing alone would not result in a penalty, or neither having keyword stuffed in a URL will result in a penalty. But it's a combination of things, right? And this was a guy whose clients, this is the SEO guy and the site that got hit was his clients. Folks, you need to see the show notes and you will be shocked how many bad SEO people are out there. It's just mind-boggling, right? And this is a great example. I would never allow my client to write and publish a page like that. I'll be like, are you crazy? This page doesn't, you have some helpful information, but you're repeating black cat. It's like, my God, it's just like blah, 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 like a broken record. Okay. Hope this helps. And this gives you some clue as to how you should keep your SEO guy, gal, agency, expert, accountable. Okay. Next up. Google went ahead and kind of shared, Google as in Google's John Miller, went ahead and shared or clarified how Google processes Robot.txt, especially when it comes to removing something in your Robot.txt after it was published. So for example, you published and you had a link called a.html, and then you updated it and removed a.html from your robots.txt file. Now, this is basically Robot.txt file is basically instructions to the Googlebot saying, only index the pages that are in these things, or no, don't index these pages that are in this, file list. So where this is going is John Miller is saying, look, just because it appears on that page does not necessarily mean it will automatically get that link. It'll get whatever. Say you said do not remove a.html from your index. That's a new instruction, right? Google is not going to immediately drop it. Google is going to wait, and Google is going to wait till the next time it goes in and actually goes into that page a.html, and then it's going to remove it. So this is something what John is trying to say is like, just because you update your robots.html page or robots.txt page does not necessarily mean that it will be reflected in Google will process it and make the change immediately. It's not immediate. It takes some time. Okay, folks. So Google has billions and maybe trillions of pages to process. Oftentimes it takes time. So what the moral is of this update is like, you need to plan and you need to publish and wait. You cannot expect, I just published my robots.txt file today. Why is it still showing up in the index? It's going to take time. When? I do not know, but it will take time. That's the gist of this update. Okay, folks, with that, that's it for this week in marketing. Until next week, Take care. Bye-bye.